So in this video, we are going to discuss about your Darakaraka or your seventh lord in the nakshatra of Moola, okay? So the Darakaraka is the planet that holds the lowest degree in your birth chart according to Gemini astrology. So Darakaraka tells many things about your spouse, about your marriage. So now when the Darakaraka or your seventh lord is placed in the nakshatra of Moola, what it's gonna do? So basically Moola Nakshatra comes after Jyeshtha Nakshatra, and to go towards Moola Nakshatra, it is highly important to cross the Gandhanta point. It is a point between the water sign and the fire signs which joins this both the ends. And before we travel from water signs to fire signs, we need to clean ourselves of the bad karmic debts, because we would be starting our learning process. Sagittarius is a sign of learning. It is a sign of higher knowledge. Okay, the highest of knowledge that we can attain in this world is represented by Sagittarius sign. So first of all, to begin the learning, to begin everything from the beginning, it is important to clean ourselves of the bad karmas, or we can say that to forget whatever happened in the past and to start everything from the beginning. Okay, so that is what it tells here. So when your Darakaraka or seventh lord is placed here, it shows that in your past life you were very much attached to your partner or your marriage, or you did something in your past lives that made you bound in the relationships. Maybe you did something bad and you carried that regret in your this life as well. So you carried that regret from your past lives and you feel bound to the relationships, like you're tied to the relationships. Because the symbol of this nakshatra is the roots that make the tree stand still and bind the tree to the ground so that it is able to face the storm, the rain, or any kind of season. It trembles, but it never falls. But it also shows that something that is holding you to this material world. That's why you have carried this thing from our past lives that shows something karma that is related to the relationships, that is binding you to this world, to this material world, and you need to fulfill that karma to progress towards other things in your life or to progress towards the moksha. The deity of this nakshatra is Niriti, the goddess of destruction and death. So it is also called Lakshmi, meaning the opposite of Lakshmi. Goddess Lakshmi represents wealth, abundance of wealth and prosperity, and everything that this material world has to offer. And Goddess Niriti shows destruction, end of everything. So that's why this nakshatra is ruled by Goddess Niriti, and it shows that before you get a true love, you need to first of all pay off your karmic debts. You know, relationships will be like a teaching for you, will be like a lesson for you, and you will learn a lot, and your soul will really transform itself into something better. After you be in the relationships, or after a period of time, you will realize that because of the relationships you have learned a lot, and very much transformation has come in your life, in your soul. It has become like more spiritual or more matured. Goddess Kali is also the deity of this nakshatra. She wears a necklace of skulls, human skulls, okay, and she is the deity, she is the goddess of reality, who wants to show us the reality and to help us to move away from the illusion. The deity of this nakshatra is also Goddess Kali, and she wears a necklace that is of skulls, human skulls, which shows the reality. Death is the reality, and the soul has to move towards spirituality. A soul has to move towards spirituality and to free itself from the bondage of this world. Moola Nakshatra is the seed of the birth of the soul. Okay, it is the nakshatra where the seed of the human soul is sowed. The seed of this body is sowed, and it is from where the body takes birth and the soul enters the body and the life begins. Okay. So this is the thing, and Moola Nakshatra also shows that in your life you need to understand that you need to trust your partner more. You need to be stable in the relationships. You need to learn to sacrifice in the relationships. You need to take decisions wisely, and relationships are not based upon romance. Relationships are based upon duty, commitment, and two people who come together in a partnership to walk in the path of life. So relationships are not about romance. Relationships are all about commitment. So you need to have that in your life. And earlier you may go through a lot of transformative events in your life that may really hurt you in respect of relationships, but later in your life you will, when you will have learned the lesson that you need to learn, you will get your true love. So it is all about learning. And as is a Sagittarius sign ruled by Ketu, you will have a lot of spiritual transformation in your life after marriage. So very much research oriented person, someone who really loves investigating the things or finding out the things, someone who is a scientist kind of person who loves to science or in the research field or government spy or in government fields where we need to find the root cause, just like doctors. So doctors or someone who is Ayurvedic doctors or someone who is dealing with herbs can be seen here, because the doctor needs to go to the root cause to find out why a particular disease happened. So this is what it shows. But it also shows that if there's a well-placed nakshatra of Moola, it can also give abundance of wealth to your spouse, because everything we get in this world is highly materialistic. So, and Moola Nakshatra is about this world, the earth, Mother Earth. And we get the jewels from digging deep into the earth. So that's why your spouse can have abundance of wealth in his or her life, and someone who is very much focused, someone who needs that stability, someone who is not having a mind that always changes, someone who likes to take practical decisions, someone who believes in higher learning, someone who can get arrogant at times, someone who is highly possessive. It also makes the native highly clever, so your spouse can be very clever. Now, if you have Sun present over here, it shows someone who has a research-oriented mind, someone who can be a doctor or a healer, or someone who is not very much attached, someone who needs authority in his life, or someone who wants to be the leader in every field in his life, but he or she respects knowledge more, and they are dharmic, they are religious, they are wise. They can be arrogant or can get angry sometimes, but they are into knowledge. They need to have that authority in the knowledge or in the higher education. They love to have higher education. Okay, your spouse will be good looking, will be charming, but as it's a Ketu ruled nakshatra, it may give some kind of stormy kind of behavior, like having that anger or ego issues sometimes. So this thing can be more or less be there as it's a sun, but when sun and Ketu are there, it actually doesn't make the person arrogant or egoist. Okay, if you have moon here, so moon here shows that your spouse will be having that ups and downs in the emotional behavior. Like he is very much insecure about giving his emotional love to anyone because of that fear of having betrayal or getting cheated. So this kind of feeling may be there in your spouse, but as it's a moon sign and a moon nakshatra, obviously your and your spouse's mindset would be the same. So yes, emotional ups and downs, depression, anxiety, and over attachment to anything, or feeling like you are bound to relationships or bound to something are always there. Yeah, but you can be highly emotional as well. You love to heal people. Your voice and your mind works the way that you are able to heal people. So you have that natural ability. Okay, the karma that you have to do in this life is to free yourself from the emotional attachments that you make every time. If you have Venus here, so Venus here gets attached to his or her love partner a lot, and it becomes hard for the person to leave that partner. No matter if your partner have betrayed you or you have faced a lot of ups and downs in your life because of that person, it is really hard for you to leave that partner and to move on in your life. So this is what it shows. So I would suggest you listen until you feel that you have got your true love, or you really get married, or your intuition power or your mind, your soul says that yes, this is my true love. Don't attach yourself to someone, because once you attach yourself, it will become hard for you to get over that attachment. So that's why. But the romance part that you will have in your life will last long. So this is a positive thing about it. Now, if it's Mercury in the Moola Nakshatra, these people love talking about spirituality or discussing about the hidden matters, or discussing something that is hidden from the world, like occult or mysticism, or about jewelries or jewels that we get underground, or about herbs, or about something that is not available, or normally people don't discuss about this. Your spouse will be highly research oriented person who would love to research on the things. But Mercury in the Ketu Nakshatra also makes the native someone who has hard time taking decisions, because Mercury behaves the way its nakshatra lord or the sign lord or the planets are conjunct with it, they behave. So that's why Mercury would behave like Ketu over here, as you have Mars over here. So Mars and Ketu makes a native someone who never thinks before taking any particular action. So Mars will make your spouse someone who takes the decisions without thinking, or jumps into the conclusion without knowing the right thing. Here, Mars needs to learn that arrogance is not good, and Mars also needs to be stable for taking the decisions. Here, the actions of the native are very much detached, but the native, your spouse may feel angry or can be a bit arrogant, and will love fighting or arguments or fights, and can be a bit dominating as well. But it is alright, as it is in the sign of Jupiter, where Jupiter is here to guide not only the Mars but all the planets that would come in its zone to help them to give the right results. And Ketu is not doing anything bad, it is just making you learn, going to the roots of something. Like Mars here needs to go to the roots of something before taking any kind of action so that it doesn't go wrong. Now if you have Jupiter here, so Jupiter is really good over here because it is not of enemies with Ketu, and it's in own sign where it's really feels home. Okay, so very well placed Jupiter here is there, and very strong also it is here. So it gives a wise spouse, someone who is a very wise, spiritual and dharmic person, someone who is matured, someone who loves to attain higher knowledge, someone who respects his teachers, someone who respects higher knowledge, and you are bringing luck of marriage from your past lives. So obviously you will get married to a good person. If you have Saturn here, so Saturn here shows that your spouse will come as a harsh teacher, come as a strict teacher to teach you about relationships, to teach you about spirituality, about religion, about actions, about karma. It shows that you have done something bad to your partner in your past life, and in this life your partner is coming to teach you to mend it, and so that you and your partner can have a good life. Your relationship will last long and will have stability. Okay, and it gives a detached spouse, someone who is very detached, someone who respects knowledge, research oriented person, and someone who is really slow in its work, or someone who works with um, slow mind or slowly so that everything goes well. But it gives a matured and wise spouse, a kind of like old man. We know old man always has experience, so your spouse has the experience of relationships, and your spouse is coming here to teach you that essence of relationship. Okay, I hope you really enjoyed the video, guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to take my personal consultation, so please check the link below. Bye bye.